Well, we're coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Unpaid Nobodies. We're recording before noon for once. I don't think we've ever done this before.
I don't know if we've ever recorded on a Saturday before.
No, we never have. But
Probably not.
No, we were for the first year. Me and Purvis were rocking that Thursday night. Like we were.
It was easier with two people.
It was easier with two people.
A lot of moving.
And a pandemic.
Yeah.
And not having a radio producer.
Yeah. Well, we started in 2022, so the pandemic was kind of over, but
A little leftover effects of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But welcome to the Unpaid Nobodies, everybody. It's Tyler week.
We've made it. This is a big week.
This is a big week. This is a big week. This is a big week of releases in general. I think we're talking about the biggest one, but it's been a lot coming out, and it's Saturday, so we've actually listened to all of them. Yeah, remember when we used to cover the stuff that had come out that week, and we never listened to it?
We made some adjustments.
Yeah, we refined our format. Purvis, you want to run through the albums coming out?
Absolutely. As we said, we're recording on Saturday, so we've had the opportunity to listen to a couple of things. It's been a big week. We have, starting off with West Side Gun, releasing an EP on Halloween and an official album. Dropping 11 on Halloween and dropping Still Praying just yesterday. I've heard some amazing things. I know some of you have listened to it, correct?
It is phenomenal. It has a lot of wrestling features on it.
Yeah.
You and Brandon are going to Still Praying, his wrestling promotion tonight.
Yeah, Heels Have Eyes.
Heels Have Eyes 3.
Yeah, Heels Have Eyes 3. Yeah, we're going to be watching some bloody indie wrestling.
Perfect.
We're going to be seeing some
terrified.
concert. I'm kind of terrified, yeah, but I'm very excited.
It's West Side Gun. You should know.
Oh, yeah.
You should be terrified.
Yeah, and also, like, having listened to this album, like, yesterday, it's a perfect setup. It was, like, nothing could have gotten me more hyped for this thing we're going to tonight than
And he's been hyping it up so much on his socials.
Yeah.
This album, being a wrestling fan, this album's going to fit perfectly for it. You guys have no clue what you're walking into.
And I think that's the best. I think that's the best part of it.
I totally agree.
I do gotta say, I'm really upset that we don't have Jeff coming. Because it would be good to have someone who actually knows what they're talking about with wrestling.
And to tell us what to look for.
like
point out, pay attention to this or that. But instead, we're just going to be on 290 trying to crash cars.
Yeah. Instead, we're just going to act a fool.
I'll be at work listening to this album while you guys are enjoying the show.
We'll FaceTime you.
We'll FaceTime you. Check Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah, I was telling people, I was telling people about the show, so I'm like, it's like half wrestling match, half concert. Everyone's like, that's insane. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like,
it's gonna be like those MMA fights on Triller, where it's like, concerts in between matches and all that.
I think that's probably gonna be the best way the format goes down. But yeah, no, I've never seen those, so
it's gonna be.
I think it's gonna be great.
For a good time.
We'll post some stuff on the story too. But some other albums coming out, kind of in the same lane. We have Freddie Gibbs returning, finally dropping You Only Live Once. I believe it's like a 37-40 minute project, and I heard
it's 37 minutes. It's quick listen, very easy. It's another Freddie Gibbs album that's good.
Look, I'm here for it.
I love the rollout he did. He, having the number up on the billboard out in LA.
Yeah,
and you had Freddie.
And this is a sequel, isn't it? I think this is a sequel to like a really early project he did.
I think so.
Yeah, because I think he had a couple early projects, like I think like You Only Die Once or something like that, or You Only Live or something like that. Like before Bandana, before he partnered up with Madlib. Yeah, and this is like a sequel to it, and the other ones all dropped on Halloween too.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, I see. You Only Live Twice. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I was wondering, I haven't heard it. Are there any features? Because he like put out a track list with all the producers.
I haven't heard it yet. This is the one I haven't gotten to.
Okay, I'm excited for this one. Some other stuff coming out. The return of Earth Gang, which actually seems to be released not under Dreamville. It seems like it's a project by themselves, a collaboration with Spillage Village, and I have listened to this one. They came out with Perfect Fantasy, and
Oh, is the song "Die Today" on this?
let me double.
Because I know that was a
check.
song Earthgate did with Spillage Village, but that was like a year and a half ago.
Die Today is on this.
I love that song.
Yeah, so I have listened to it, and like I don't think we're gonna do a deep dive, so I'll go over it very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty slow start, and there's a lot of misses. I'm not gonna lie, but the songs that do hit,
And you're a huge, more so than me. I like Earthgang a lot, but like you're a big Earthgang fan.
yes, I've been following all of Dreamville since they're signed, pretty much. So I had very high expectations. I found out it was not going to be released on Dreamville like just last week.
Yeah. Ooh,
Bobby
Dreamville's
Boucher,
having a lot of issues with the Ari Lennox thing and this.
Yeah, it's been kind of messy.
Yeah.
But
TDE all the way up.
Dude, West Side is just taking over the rap game right now. It's ridiculous.
I mean, isn't this more karma for J. Cole?
Yeah, maybe.
Too much. Yeah.
Disputes that he's had in his career.
Yeah.
What can you do? You pick your leaders.
That's karma.
But I'm sure they'll bounce back. It's a decent album. What wasn't a good album that I've heard was Lil Uzi Vert's album.
Yeah.
He is back with Eternal Take 2.
Yeah. I liked Eternal Take. I'm not the biggest Uzi fan in the world, but I liked Eternal Take. It kind of got drowned out in 2020 for me because, like, 2020, a lot of great music came out around the same time. It came out right in between the Brent Faiyaz and The Weeknd, and that's, like, not great.
Yeah, that's
Childish Gambino didn't survive that. So, and I can't lie to you. I opened this up and I saw that the only feature was Big Time Rush, and I just said, no, thank you. And I just walked away. I was like, I don't need to listen. If the only feature is a boy band from the Disney Channel,
it may not be.
I'm set.
Yeah,
it's like West Side Gun dropped, and you want me to listen to this?
And Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
Right. It's a lot that came out this week, so I will.
Jasper, have you listened to Eternal Take? I know you're a big fan of that album.
I haven't had a chance yet, but yeah, Eternal Take 1 was definitely my. Like,
Eternal Take is a good album. Eternal Take is a good album. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Eternal Take, and then the baton was passed to Call Me If You Get Lost when that came out. It was like those were the two. But yeah, I mean, the lack of features is really interesting. It doesn't seem like it's suffering from like streaming bloat, really.
No, it's not. It does not seem super bloated.
Yeah,
and that I don't know. On one hand, like if I was hearing it was good and I looked at it and I'm like it wasn't super bloated, I'd be like, oh, okay, that would be a reason for me to buy into it. Still praying the same thing because West Side Gun's last project was way over bloated. Like I liked it a lot, but it was very overdone. And Still Praying is only like 12 tracks, so I was like, oh, sick. So I was like kind of interested that it was so short, but that made me think like, are these throwaways maybe? Because everything he released is so massive all the time.
Usually,
right? Because like. I don't think there's any shame in admitting that, like, some artists are here for, I mean, not like to make work, like to put things out. And Lil Uzi Vert always puts out like massive projects. Even Eternal Take, I don't know if I would describe it as bloated, but it's certainly long.
Yeah, the deluxe version I would say is bloated. I think the original version is not so. But
I don't think I heard the deluxe.
More balanced.
It basically adds an entire mini, like smaller album on the front end of an already long album.
Yeah,
it's another album basically. It's
and I don't know if y'all noticed, but on Spotify at least, all the covers have been updated.
I hate it when they do that. I hate that. Like
Apple Music does that all the time.
Apple Music does it. It's like a label thing. Like Charlie XCX did it with her entire discography when Brat came out. She changed all of her covers to like to match
or something.
I mean, she's co-host and performance artist on SNL tonight.
Yeah,
I thought it was John Mulaney and Chappell Roan tonight. I thought.
Oh, maybe that's next week.
Charlie XCX was announced yesterday, and I think that sounds awesome. I'm gonna watch that, but like,
it's one of the next coming ones.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I really like that album. I like Charlie XCX a lot. I think she's very talented, but I hate it when they do that.
Album of the year.
Huh?
I heard Brett was the pop album of the year.
100%. It's not even close. Like, unless you want to make an argument that somehow, some way, Cowboy Carter is pop, like, it's not even close with anything else. Like, There are maybe pop artists I like more than Charlie XCX, like Remy Wolf. I'm actually wearing her shirt. But Remy Wolf's project was not as good as Brat. Like, just straight up.
Okay. I'm going to listen to it eventually. I am excited to get to that.
It's a good party album.
And then some other stuff coming out this week are, honestly, we're covering like 2 weeks worth of stuff because it's just been a mess recently. Ken Carson dropped More Chaos, which I believe is a second album release for him this year.
It's the third time he's dropped against Westside Gunn.
Yeah, he's got like a thing against him or something. I don't know. But
or maybe Westside Gunn has a thing against him.
All the kids are loving this. Besides that, IDK is dropping Bravado and Intimo. I've been following him for a while, been promoting him here and there. I don't know if I can claim that I've been there since the beginning, but I've been there for a while, and I'm excited for this release.
I gotta watch. I gotta listen.
Very, very good. And then following up to last week, because we missed like a week or two, Megan Thee Stallion, her album came out. We didn't really cover that. The Act Part 2 is officially out, partnering as well with the documentary that released, I believe, on Prime on Halloween.
Yeah,
and a lot of people have been kind of commenting on that. Some footage showing.
She was here in Chicago on Halloween.
She was here in Chicago?
Yeah, she was at Tao.
Oh, bet. I didn't even know.
Yeah, she was dressed as Starfire, and the head of the DCU shared a picture.
I did see that, yes.
Her reaction to, what's his face? Troy Lanez.
Oh.
Getting arrested. It's a lot of footage.
Getting found guilty. Not being arrested, being found guilty. Her reaction to that.
There's some stuff in there. I guess people were commenting about like her admitting that they actually had sex or something. It's been a lot of breakdown on the documentary, but I haven't seen it. So I think it's a interesting combination with the Act Part 2 coming out. She's got a lot of movement going out right now, so I'm here for it. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the official albums that did come out. Last but not least, we're going to be covering Chromakopia by Tyler, the Creator, a odd release on a Monday. We haven't had one of these in.
Nah, that's how Tyler is. He wants to bring back Tuesday releases.
Yeah, but not a lot of people do it, I think is the point.
Right.
I would say odd. To me, it was more refreshing.
Yeah. I was here for it. I loved it, but you're right. It's not a thing that people do anymore. Almost every album you hear, regardless of genre, comes out on a Friday. But yeah, that's what we're going to be covering today.
Does not sound right. New Music Friday does not sound right. New Music Tuesday sounds so much better.
Sounds better?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not against it.
I do support the move back to Tuesday.
We should be the podcast that gets behind that movement.
Yeah.
We could say we did it first.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're planting our flag in the ground right now.
Because we have so much leverage.
We have so much leverage. Tyler, we're on your side.
It is leverage.
But the last thing to cover, I guess, in terms of music, there were a ton of singles that's been released in the last 3 weeks while we've been gone. But some things that stood out to me that I want to point out. Amine and Smino officially have released their 2-song little EP, I guess. Passenger Princess Slaps came with a music video.
Oh, I love that song. I've been listening to it all week.
Very, very good. I believe it was directed by Lyrical Lemonade. I could be wrong. I don't know. On top of that, Saba released How to Impress God. That came with a little music video as well that he's been promoting. And then lastly, another single that came with a video. The Weeknd is partnering with Anita for Sao Paulo.
I do have another single, but I have a comment on that. That music video for Sao Paulo is weird as fuck.
I gotta watch it.
There's one more single that I do recommend. It's a TDE one. It's Cal Banks and Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah, Purvis sent it to me last night.
Yes, that song slaps. Thank you for reminding me. That's a good one. Absolutely. Sorry, you just got me excited because I heard that song yesterday. Slaps.
Because I sent it to you guys. I recommended it in the group text to you guys. Like I heard this and it's like, damn.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I think he signed a TDE. He doesn't have an album yet, but he needs to drop.
I don't know if he's fully signed yet, but I think he's on the rise because I know he's done a lot of collabs with them already.
Yeah.
Yes, he has a song with Buddy and Smino, Slaps as well. So yeah, I'm here for it. And then the rest of the news, we have a couple of stuff just to cover. Speaking on albums and big releases of this month, it seems like this is the rise back after the Great War. People are returning back to normal. Absol has released that he will be dropping his album next week on the
Yeah.
8th, leading
Huge.
with the single "Crazier" by Jid.
Have you heard it? It's so good. Jid's.
So good.
Let's say it with me now. Jid better.
Jid better.
Jid better,
Jid better.
dude.
He's just so good. I
Like,
love
nah,
it.
do you listen to Jid though?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I love this. Also, we have our other golden child, Denzel Curry, is here. Brandon, would you like to do the?
Yeah, Denzel Curry
honors?
is announced the extended edition of Kings of the Mischievous South. Yeah, no, this is in some ways my favorite project of the year, and yeah, I just want more of it. He dropped the single
of the
from
year
it, which was remixing "Hard in the Paint." Like it samples like the beat from "Hard in the Paint" by Waka Flocka.
It was
The
good.
second I heard it, 30 seconds
good.
in, I was like, "Song
Dude,
of the year! This is insane."
Brandon, I was at home dying because when I text you, I was like, "Have you heard it?" And you was like, "What?" And then a minute later, I looked at the timestamp. He was like, "Song of the year," and I'm like, "Bro."
The second I heard that, dun, 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 I was like, done. Like,
I'm sold. I'm here.
done. It's like I was 18 when Flockavelli came out. You put that beat in a song, I'm going to give it an A plus.
We are so back.
I have
That
a
also
request.
means that we're old heads.
What?
If people are sampling Waka Flocka, we're old now.
Yeah,
It's just
well,
what it is.
there's gray in my beard. I know I'm old.
Hey,
I have a
Tyler,
request.
please,
Yes.
Go on.
Boys trip to Nashville, Tennessee, April 25th, 2025.
Wait, why April 25th? I just want to know why the date.
Yeah, like why?
That is the only appearance on his tour for King of the Mischievous South where Denzel Curry will actually be just performing at a venue and not part of like another festival or opening for somebody else that I could find. And it's like the last one. It's on his website. It's downtown Nashville. His only other thing that he's got coming up before then in like later in November is Rolling Loud. And until like it's like that and then Radio Silence until April of next year.
Yeah, no, that's. I gotta think on that because I can't say no to that right away.
This is an album. This is
You
a
are
top tier
selling
album.
This is a
This
top
is
tier
right-
album. Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Right
was
now,
like.
this is like top 3 of the year.
I'll
for
keep
me.
it real
So,
with you.
like,
This is Kings of the Mischievous South was my album of the year until this week. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was my
You
number
call
2
that.
until this week.
it was very, very good. So I got to be honest with you guys. I'm kind of feeling that that's not an awful plan. Because Nashville's not a far drive.
Nashville.
No, it's like 6 hours, right?
No, Nashville's not.
We can drive to Nashville.
I have like some very hard limits on car trips, but I could do Nashville. Like,
Nashville. Hey, we set up a little ultra wide camera in the front of the car. We do a little on the road podcasting, perhaps.
This
7
man's
hour.
been
Dude, that'd be a
this
good-
man's been cooking.
that'd be a good warm up
7 hour,
because
23
like
minute.
I think next year me and Rachel want to try and go to Flognaw. Like we're like
Oh.
we were like because we don't really want to go to LA. It's like if we're gonna go to LA, we should go for a festival. It's like
Yeah.
because
It's not too bad though.
because
That was great.
because she might like Chromakopia more than me. She loves the album and she's never listened to a Tyler song before. She's like, I've never like really acknowledged Tyler.
So
And
let's
then
go back, not too far, but listen.
we're gonna listen to Igor today. Like,
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna do Igor and then Flower Boy and then Call Me If You Get Lost, and then maybe I'll show her Wolf. Like,
Maybe.
Wolf, and then cut it off there. Then
no,
don't
yeah,
go
we
in
cannot
there.
go to Goblin or Bastard.
Yeah,
It's like
the
no,
borderline
it's
is
like,
Wolf.
yeah,
And no cherry bomb.
no Cherry Bomb is ass.
you
Tyler the
can say
Creator agrees with me. I don't feel bad saying it. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
Is next year the traveling year of the podcast? Like,
yes,
are we just gonna
yes,
start
I've
going
been
everywhere?
unemployed this year due to robots taking over the world. So now
Fair
that
enough.
I have money, I'm going to be going places. Ideally,
All right.
7 hours to Tennessee. We could film 4
That's not bad.
podcasts. We could do a full live listen of an album together and then review it on the spot.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not
That'd be
against
wild.
this. I'm not against this. We should think
We
about
are
this.
supposed to go to live streaming next year, so
Yeah, no, I'm not against this. We should build this out. Let's stop talking about it on the air though. Like,
yes. We're
like
getting
good
into
idea,
excited.
Jasper. Is that what you want? Like,
We're
I'm
getting
just excited. I don't know.
yeah, no, it's a good idea. I think I'm definitely into it.
Okay, on to the rest of the news. I'm sorry that we're coming back to the news on a bad note. Kanye West,
Oh,
he has released a album cover, probably won't be the album cover, to Bully, who may not come out for the next 5 years. But partnering with that, he also announced a documentary that will be coming out called In Whose Name, apparently covering footage from 2016 to 2024.
With a budget of
$1 billion. $1 billion.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I mean,
Also,
he got money, so.
questionable.
I mean, the only reason I'm more
just because
excited
it's
about
who.
Yeah,
well, is Kanye involved with the documentary? This is going to completely change if I even bother with it.
I don't know how involved he is. The only reason I'm more excited is because the timeline is apparently 2016.
Yeah.
So this will be long before he kind of goes off the deep end. So I just want to know.
I think it is at best going to be a recording of, or like
is
a
it up
documentary.
to 2016 or starting in 2016?
Because 2016 is when I think the deep end starts.
So it's 2016 to now.
Yeah, that's the fall. Like,
okay, so Life of Pablo is the fall then?
I think Life of Pablo, Ye, Kids See Ghosts, I think those albums are still great. I think the fall started on the Life of Pablo tour. The second he was on that floating platform and he said he would have voted for Trump.
Yeah.
That's when the fall started. Like,
the fall of the personality, not the music quality. And then the music quality falls.
I mean, I think the music quality did fall. It's just that the first couple projects after the start of it were still up to snuff. Okay. Does that make sense? Because, like, I think Jesus is King was not up to snuff. I think Donda has not aged well.
Has not.
I think there's some great songs on it, but I don't think Donda has aged well at all. Right? And I think an important thing to remember about
Vultures terrible.
Vultures is terrible. And I think an important thing to remember about the Donda rollout is Kanye was pivoting hard on his personality. He was talking talking shit about Trump. He was talking shit about all the people he was involved with. Jay-Z mentions it on the jail verse. He went through the divorce. And it was before the Kim Kardashian stalking shit, which was really weird. And so there was a moment where it was like, oh, he's kind of getting back to normal. And I think, at least for me personally, I just got caught up in that, hoping that my favorite artist wasn't going to be awful.
Which is fair. That's normal. We had hope, and there was a good reason to have hope.
And like, I don't think Donda's as bad as Jesus is King, but I don't think it's as up to snuff as any of the albums in the College Dropout to Kids See Ghost run.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Point made. I like that.
I'm a Kanye scholar.
Believe it or not, I was defending Kanye this week, which I haven't done in a long time.
I don't defend Kanye, but I have stopped skipping his songs.
That's fair.
You know, the other day I was playing Call of Duty and All Falls Down came on, and what do you do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna not listen? You're not. You're gonna not listen?
Comes on? Come on.
100%.
What are we gonna do here?
Sometimes I'm sad and I got to hear the horns. Like,
I'll never forget when Matos told me that story when he was at war. Just like playing Jesus Rock Walks in the Tank, and I'm like, man, that goes incredibly hard. I understand now.
Yeah. Imperialism.
Yes. Moving on. I don't want to bring up anybody's story.
I love Matos though.
I love Matos. I should text him. Anyway, moving on to some other news. Unfortunately, Little Durk has been arrested and charged with murder for hire.
Free Durk.
Apparently, yeah, free Durk. we got Thug, we lost Durk. It was a trade-off. The story behind it, apparently, though, it was supposed to be a follow-up of a revenge attempt for King Von to go against Quando Rondo in L.A. Apparently, they end up killing his cousin. And I did watch, I don't know if you guys know.
One of his own men ratted him out.
Yep. It was very trackable. Apparently, the person that booked the flights for the people that were going to kill them put it underneath the name of OTF. Like, it was underneath the organization's name. So, like, they got the car. They got
That's
the
an
flight.
Easy Rico. That's easy Rico.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here? But anyway, yeah, Little Durk is arrested. That's the news.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's like, hey, Durk, how long are you going to be in jail? All my life.
Yeah, literally.
Probably forever. Yeah.
Like,
I saw that
this is
as well, yes.
This is like open and shut, yeah.
But yeah, he that man's not getting out. He's not going to get the Young Thug treatment.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of Young Thug, he is free officially.
Yeah. Jasper, cue up the soundboard. Jeff is free.
This is the moment we can use it.
We already the lawyer was like, his name is Jeff Free, not Jeff Jailed, and it was like, You got me. 15 years probation. Like,
15 years probation. Can't be in Atlanta unless it's for a wedding, funeral, or graduation.
Or a concert where he denounces gang violence.
But he can't do music with Gunna. He can't do music with Gunna.
And he has to do the appearances, right? He has to do like 4 anti-gang appearances per year to talk about that.
But we'll take it. It went from like 120 years in jail to this. So.
Thug free.
Dude, he basically beat a Rico thing.
The other day we were coming home from something and I was literally just like looking at Rachel. I'm like, man, I'm so happy Young Thug is free. And she's like, okay.
She said, okay.
Like, calm down.
She's like, okay. Like,
let me be happy.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
And then the last bit of news, I don't want to cover it because I feel like I am ignorant to the subject, but Fantano is under heat.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I've been following this a little bit. Halsey dropped a new album that is not great by any stretch, I would say, but he went and did a review where he glossed over a lot of the things that the album actually talks about and focused more so on critiquing the aesthetics associated with like some of her influences and gave it like a 1 out of 10 just right off the cuff. And it's like a sub 10-minute review. And there was a lot of really negative backlash to that because a big part of the album is like her experience in like dealing with like being diagnosed with a very rare and like aggressive form of cancer. And so it's just like people in the comments like, wow, guys, is it main character syndrome to be diagnosed with cancer? Because like that's one of the things he goes after her for is like it being very like first person me, but it's like if that's what the album is about. Right. And it's been like a big deal. I was on Twitter the other day and Fantano was trending on Twitter, which is like never a great thing, I would say. It's just like, all right, something's happening.
Yeah, and like I feel like there's been a lot of like Fugazi ass controversies around Fantano. I think this is one where he actually has stepped in it. Me and Jasper kind of got into it because about a different thing, but yeah, I think some of the comments he said, like I think a lot of like the qualitative stuff, like the main character energy, was completely uncalled for and just like not okay considering the context. I think there are some people who are just upset that like someone made an album about a really harrowing subject and someone didn't like it. And to that I say grow the fuck up.
That's
but
totally
like
fair.
Yeah, I think that's, and I do think there's a lot of that. I think there are a lot of people who do not like Fantano for other reasons. Who are like there's a lot of people who view him as a misogynist because he doesn't review like Taylor Swift very positively, ignoring the fact that there are a lot of female artists that he does consistently review positively, including some that shouldn't. But like, yeah, I think like
my take is if you give an album a 1, you're going like 10-second parts throughout the whole song. You're not listening to the whole song.
I disagree. See, I think like if you're gonna use a scale of 1 to 10 to judge art, you need to use the whole thing. Like you have to have like it is insane to me to suggest that there like a 1 is somehow disqualifying. That's nuts to me. Like
no, I think that 1s should exist.
Like
but...
they should, but I just feel like if you're gonna go full blown on a 1 and make the comments that he's made, you're not listening to the full song.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a 1. I think if it's going to be a 1, it needs to be a longer video where he's actually getting deeper into like specific facets of why he doesn't like it. Because a lot of this review is gloss. He's like glossing.
I will agree that this specific instance is a lot of glossing.
That's what I'm talking about.
This specific instance, I am talking about using giving an album a 1 in general. I do not think that means that you did not give the album its due. I do not think inherently. I think in this specific case with Fantano and the Halsey Awesome, I don't.
Like a 40-minute video, and he gave it a 1. Then I'd be okay.
I disagree with that because I do not think I'll give it like I'm sorry to do this to you, Jasper, but like if we were using a 1 out of 10 rating scale, like I would have given the Pink Tape a 1.
Yeah,
and it's like. I'm not going to spend 30, 40 minutes explaining why I don't like the Pink Tape. I don't think it's worth my time or energy. It takes like a lot more time or energy to sit and digest. And like, you have to do that regardless of the album you're enjoying. Right? So, yeah, I think a lot of the qualitative stuff in this is fucked up. And I don't think the Fantana revolt is necessarily bad, because I think everyone who's mad at him for saying she has main character energy is completely right. But I don't think anything about giving it a 1 is, especially just like the act of giving a 1 in general, like in a generic sense. I think that's anti-intellectual, to be honest with you. I think those are people who are trying to like numeral themselves out of thinking.
Yeah, and I think it's totally subjective, right? Like, there are plenty of albums I could think of that I've listened to in the past that I would consider a 1. But before I even get to that point, it's less for me about a score and recognizing that a piece of art for me is not.
Yeah.
If it's a 1 for me, it's probably not meant for me, and therefore, like, maybe my critique or my opinion isn't necessarily valid, because there's lots of art out there that I recognize is like certified masterpiece X, Y, and Z, and for me just does not land, and I would never call it that personally. And it's just I think it's very subjective in that way too.
I think you're conflating an opinion and criticism.
But is criticism not based in opinion?
Sure, it's based in opinion, but it's not an opinion. It is an informed opinion backed up by the text.
I guess. I mean,
so, like, if you were to say, like, so for example, like, you can say, like, oh, an opinion would be like The Dark Knight is too long. Criticism would be like, this specific scene in The Dark Knight is repetitive and does not need to exist. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, so, I agree it's subjective. I do not think it is a cut and dry, just, like, opinion thing. And, yeah, you're right. I think that there's things that just, like, aren't for you. But I think, like, that's the magic of critical theory. To me, honestly, as someone who, like, did go to school and, like, for, like, this kind of stuff, like, I think if you're doing it right, I think it opens doors. It doesn't close them. Like, an example I'll give right now is 3 weeks ago, the new Glorilla album came out. And that album is not for me. In every capacity you could think for, the Glorilla album is just not for me. But because, like, I know what I like, I know, like, what my perspective is, and I'm willing to do, like, the intellectual work to, like, think about things, I can still enjoy it, because I think there are things to take away. Right? Unfortunately, that means when something doesn't have that, even when it comes from a really harrowing place, there's nothing you can do. Right? And you should be honest. You shouldn't be glib and hurtful, like if Fantano was in this specific instance. But I think the idea that, like, oh, if you give something a 1, it just means it wasn't for you or anything, I think is just, like, anti-intellectual and reductive.
That's fair. I think it's a balance. Like, I agree there are genuine criticisms you can make of any work of art, but I think that a lot of that is based out of, like, your own worldview and your own biases. Like, for me, the 2 examples of albums that I know are universally good albums that I cannot give higher than, like, a certain score are To Pimp a Butterfly and Lemonade, because those 2 projects are, like, I get it, I'm aware, I've listened to them over and over, but for me it's one of those things where it's like, it just doesn't fundamentally have that thing that brings me as a listener back, because I get that I am not the target audience, and it's just like for me, they will never reach higher than, like, for me, those will never be masterpieces the way that some of the other albums by those artists are. And that's just, again, my kind of subjective view based on, like, my experience.
I think that's totally fine. I think the thing is just understanding your biases.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there's one thing to be like, oh, this is, because that's how I felt about Tyler, to kind of, like, lace this into the main subject. For a long time, that's how I felt about Tyler. Like, even the albums I liked, I really liked them. I never really went back to them. Yeah. Right? Like, every once in a while, I get the itching to listen to Igor, but that's really it. This is going to be the first one that I really fully throated love. But I do feel like that's different than, like, but I do feel like my experience of, like, walking away from something like Flower Boy, which I would probably give, like, a 7, Yeah,
me too.
But also, like, I do not think about, it does not speak to my experiences. It does not enter my, like, constant, like, rotation of, like, art, like, music I consume. Mm-hmm. I think there's a big difference between that and, like, something like the Pink Tape, where it's like, no, I think there are actual, like, things wrong with this. Right. And, like, I think, like, it is, and all this stuff is, like, fuzzy, and it exists in the mind. So it's not something you can take out and show to people. Right. But I do think that there are, like, intellectual differences between these things. And I think the reality is that to speak to these things, like, it takes as much like study and hard work as like understanding the economy or mathematics. And let's face it, people don't think that, and people certainly do not like do that level of work before they comment on social media, right?
Totally.
So I think in the specific instance of like the things Fantano have said to Halsey, I think it's right for him to be getting fucking roasted. But I do think some, and this is something that like you just see a lot. People do not like criticism for some,
that's true. That's typically why he gets most of his hate.
But the thing is, like, a lot of times people don't like criticism for, frankly, stupid and immature reasons. And I think people like us should be fast to debunk that and to push against that. Because, let's face it, we're critics.
That's totally fair. Yeah. Another thing that I thought of just when I was like reading about and then I watched his review, I was like, man, this is wild. Like, imagine if someone made a video like this tearing down Black Star, like when that came out. It's like, what would the reaction to that be? It's like, because to me there are very much parallels in terms of what the art is about. So it's just the change of tone is crazy to me.
Sure.
And like the whole misogyny thing, like, maybe her being a woman has some color and like the way that he reviewed it, I will never really know, but like I don't know. I mean, it's something to think about at least.
I think it's very, just being familiar with Halsey's work, I think it is, and like, not to denigrate like
I'm
what
familiar
you
with the earlier stuff.
Yeah, not to denigrate what you went through. Like, cancer's a bitch. You know, my father-in-law is an oncologist. I'm aware. But like, I think it's a little something to like immediately compare this to Black Star. I know. I was just
immediately, it's like, oh, Cancer album, duh.
Like, and like when you said Black Star, for some reason I thought you meant like Mos Def and Talib Kweli. Like, for some reason.
I thought that for a second.
And I'm like, that album is perfect. And if you don't like that one, Whitey, you can like
oh, turn the video off.
Too far. That was personal.
I was gonna say a violation.
All right, shall we move on? Are we going to do schools in session, or do we want to dive right into Chromacopia?
Run it.
I honestly just want to dive.
I just want to dive into Chromacopia.
Right in.
Yeah. All right.
We made it.
The man is back. The first Tyler release. The first proper Tyler release in the lifetime of this podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and this is off his schedule, isn't it? Like every 2 years or something.
Every 2 years. This
It's
is
a little
early.
ahead of time. Yeah.
We were trying to come up with like all types of like schemes, like, oh, he's starting the rollout now, and this is gonna happen then, and it's not gonna release. No, we were all wrong.
Weren't we like literally talking about like when the new Tyler project would come, like 2 days before this happens?
Yes. Yeah,
And
we created like a whole theory.
And like I was like, I thought like, yeah, I don't think there's any reason it couldn't come out in January. And then within 3 weeks, it's here. And let me tell you, by all that is pure and true, it's getting sticky. Like,
that's what she said.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be saying it's getting sticky the entire podcast.
It's a song of the year. It's so good.
It's so good. Anyway, so Jasper, I think you should run us through our overview of Tyler the Creator, and give us a little introduction to where you were coming into this album and your initial thoughts on it.
Oh, all right. So, wait, do we want to start off with like a little bit of background, or just
give us
how
the
I feel about
background
this
on
album?
Tyler. Give us the background on Tyler.
Background on Tyler. He has, up until this album came out, he had 3 albums that I absolutely fucking hated, and 3 albums that I really, really like. 2 of which I really, really like. 1 of which I think is very good. And it's been basically just linear growth for me in terms of the way I view his discography and his listening experience, with the exception of Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost, which I think are pretty interchangeable for me. I love the kind of over-the-top aesthetics and styling of Call Me If You Get Lost, and the concept of materialism replacing, the feel for genuine connection, emotion, love, all that stuff. But yeah, it's been kind of a long time coming, the next project. And we've kind of gotten to the point where every Tyler release from 2019 onward, we've expected this like large scale kind of theatrical release. There are videos, there is a tour, there's merch, there's a kind of just general online conversation component that seems to flare up every time. And this is really no different to that. I mean, the hype behind this album is intense, and people have been really excited for this. It's been kind of in the making. I was really curious to see if anything from this would carry from the Sorry Not Sorry video, where it's kind of like his inner self killing all of his different eras and things. And I think we've gotten like maybe a little bit, but not super directly.
I think they ladder up to some. I think that the Sorry Not Sorry video and Chromacopia ladder up to some same things, but yeah, it's not super connected.
Yeah, it's like the general idea I think may be there, especially with the Chromacopia video. But yeah, it feels like it's been a long time that he's been releasing music, and we really don't know a lot about him. And this has kind of been the kicking open the door and the flood of we are getting to know this artist who has entertained us in some form for so many years. You know, whether it was starting out as part of Odd Future or like Loiter Squad on Adult Swim to like making meme music to becoming, you know, pretty well respected with the release of like bigger kind of poppier sounds and hits and from Flower Boy onward. It's been this album feels like it's been a long time coming. I don't want to
getting to know the man behind the mask.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to necessarily give all of my opinions just yet, but I'd love to hear what you all think as well. Like,
I
in
think
terms
that
of,
was
like,
a great introduction.
the lead up, the rollout, everything like that.
Jeff, you want to take it from there?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll go. I have always kind of respected Tyler.
You killed Purvis, dude.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
We've done
It's
it.
like, how am I gonna follow that? He's just like, no.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Top
no.
tier.
Oh shit.
Top tier.
No notes.
I'm not coming up after that. No.
Yeah.
Brandon, you started. So go
Okay,
ahead.
so
I'll go
I
after
was
you.
so me and Jeff were 18 when Tyler hit the scene, which I think is going to be very different. Is going to lead to a different perspective than Purvis and Jasper. Cause
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because he started blowing up in what 2011.
Yeah, 2011,
Yep.
and like we were
right
like
after we got out of high school.
right after we got out of high school, right? So it's kind of funny, like it's very funny, like how early Tyler was just very much. He had an 18-year-old audience, and it just has stayed that way. Like as I've gotten older, like the audience started of kids our age, right? Like when Odd Future hit, it was all people our age, and it kind of feels like it is Tyler's core fan base has like just stayed. Like don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people our age who love Tyler because of that, but like his core fan base is always stayed, which I think has been very interesting. But didn't really like him initially. Like I heard Yonkers, I heard all the early stuff, and wasn't a big fan initially. Like I was really only into Odd Future through Frank Ocean, and then Flower Boy came out, and that changed everything.
Yeah.
Flower Boy, I didn't love like even like when it came out, but I did really really appreciate, and from there Tyler became an artist that I really, really appreciated. Igor was probably my favorite project that came out before this one. And I did like Call Me If You Get Lost. Call Me If You Get Lost to me was just like... It kind of has... Oh, this is going to be a stretch. It kind of has the same problem as like The Wolf of Wall Street has to me. Where it's like, oh, this is a commentary on consumerism and maximalism. And I think it kind of gets lost in its sauce a little bit. Like it's mostly there. Its heart's in the right place, and it's mostly there. But unfortunately, I think "Call Me If You Get Lost" gets a little lost. I don't get me wrong. I think it's a great album. It didn't hit for me the way it did for other people. Yeah. This one hit for me. This was the first full project where back to back I was like, oh, I really really like this. It seems very sonically similar to what he's been doing. I think like there's a lot of different visuals, and I do think in terms of like the content of like what's in the album, I think is very different. But I think sonically, I think it's very different, very similar. And I think it's building to like, it's built up to a great finale with this, or not finale, but like a great peak. So yeah, this has been a fun experience for me because this is like, I'm all on board with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I'll
think.
go next after that.
Yeah,
Because I can really, because then I can back up because like we're the same age and we
yeah.
kind of
We've had similar
been
arcs with
friends ever
Tyler.
since. Yeah,
Yeah,
and we've been friends throughout
yeah.
Tyler, all of
Because I
Tyler's,
remember we were going to
you
go
know,
see
career.
Tyler tour the Wolf album. There was a second we were going to go to the USC
Yeah.
Pavilion in I think 2013 to see him open for Kid Cudi.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
I started getting into him through his feature on the games song Martians vs. Goblins with Lil Wayne.
Yeah, that was fun
Banger.
back in the day.
Like that's how I started getting into Tyler, but
The
then
game.
I just kind of fell off. Like he's always been in rotation, but not like super heavy. And then Flower Boy came out, and that just changed everything. Like he started getting more into rotation, and then I seen him at Lollapalooza for the "Call Me If You Get Lost" tour, and then that just changed everything. Still not a fan of his earlier stuff, but like this album, you're seeing the full. Like he's 33 now, same age as
Yeah.
us, me and Brandon. So it's like you're seeing him finally fully mature,
Yeah.
and like throughout the rollout of the videos, you see him wearing that mask, and we're actually getting to know the person behind the mask and all that.
And it's
And
very
that's what I like. We're actually getting to know him as a person, not so much and hearing the struggles that he's been through in his life. Shit that hasn't even been public.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who's an artist that I think he has a very similar journey to is Mac Miller. Cuz like you just hear him mature as you listen to his projects, right?
Yes.
And like I think Mac Miller's earlier stuff, which I think there's at least 2 Mac Miller projects that haven't aged incredibly well. I think his earlier stuff is still a little bit better. But yeah, no, and I mean they collaborated a couple times, and yeah,
They were close.
Yeah, they were close. You know, the bonus track with Tyler the Creator off of Movies with the Sound Off was probably my first song I really loved with Tyler the Creator on it.
Yeah.
Purvis.
Mine was Trouble on My Mind with Pusha T.
That was a good one too.
That was a good song.
That was a good one.
At least for me, it's building off because you guys made some interesting points. Because one of the biggest things for me for Tyler the Creator, at least as an artist, is that I always feel like he created a great story and a great narrative, but I never really felt like it was him per se.
Yeah, because if you look at like the "Call Me If You Get Lost,"
yeah,
the tour, the stage set, like he was on a boat, he was lost.
Yeah,
I mean, literally,
he's playing a character.
He created a career. He created a character. For
Igor, he's literally playing.
He's a theater kid.
Yeah,
he
Igor,
was literally a theater kid.
Yeah,
and that's how I kind of because when I found Tyler, my first complete album, like actually listened to front and back, was Wolf. I eventually went back to Goblin because the Yonkers video just blew up. And then I realized like going back further into the past from Wolf is dangerous when you do that with Tyler. Just
Goblin and Bastard aren't amazing.
Yes,
they're pretty bad.
And right after, sorry, go ahead.
And I think that's something that's interesting is I don't think we thought it was very good at the time. You know, like I remember being around when Goblin, whatever the second one was, like it was popular.
People took him as a joke. Early on in his career.
Like, I think when Wolf came out, that was like the first sense of like, oh, there's going to be a sea change for this kid.
Right. Like this is a full complete album.
This kid actually has This kid actually has a chance.
There was always moments. There was always the Martians versus Goblins. There was always Trouble on My Mind. There was always Goosebumps. There were always hints that he could be an artist to make an album, honestly as good as his last 4, but this totally. But yeah, early it was kind of hard to see through the tall grass.
Yes, and the issue with me was because when I found him at Wolf, that's when I really dove into it. I was like, okay, I like this person as an artist. I actually want to follow him. It was followed up by Cherry Bomb, which is his worst album.
Yeah.
So there was a period where I was literally just like, oh, okay, Wolf's amazing. This is a good artist. Probably never going to listen to him again because Cherry Bomb came out. I didn't like it.
There was
to revisit it.
I remember people saying like, "Oh, is Tyler done? Is Tyler cooked after Cherry Bomb?"
Literally. And then when Flower Boy came out, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't think I knew who the artist was. Like it was so different. I thought it was an entirely different person.
Yeah.
Not until like it kind of clicked. It was like, oh, this is the same Tyler that made Wolf. Then everything going forward was a complete rebrand. I think it worked out the best for his career. We've mentioned Mac Miller already, but him and Mac Miller have the most interesting career paths. I think.
Yeah, him, Mac Miller. I think Childish Gambino has had a really interesting career path.
Him too. But it's such a clear defining change between a younger version of them and them actually maturing and you seeing it in person. And as much as it's so fitting, honestly, it's so fitting. Everything about the theme and the concept of this album makes sense because it is him taking off a mask. In my opinion, he's a theater kid. Every album fits a specific narrative and a character of a story he's trying to portray. And this is actually him. Like, this is Tyler, and we know Tyler from interviews, but like, hearing him do it in music, this hit.
Yeah, no, this was.
Hit. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
this hit.
Yeah, this really hit. And I think it's very funny because like everyone's using like the mask metaphor, which I get. I think it's like very apt. But I think this is actually the only one in the visuals where he's wearing a mask.
Yeah, it is.
Because like he's not wearing a mask in Igor. That was just makeup.
Cherry Bomb, he was just an alien.
Yeah.
Flower Boy, he had a bee in front of his face.
Yeah, Flower Boy, he was just him, and Call Me If You Get Lost was just his face.
He has the facial replacement in the video.
Yeah, but for Chromakopia, it's like the mask imagery. I think it runs deep throughout this album. So yeah, I get why. Yeah, this isn't criticism. It's just like
Yeah. So it's interesting. We've made it here, and he came right on time. I think this is perfect. It tells a lot of really personal stories that I didn't know about. He speaks on childhood. He speaks on his father. He speaks on having a baby.
Correct.
There's some interesting stuff here.
Correct. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Because yes, there's a lot of stuff about like Tyler himself that like we haven't learned since we listened to this. He's had other songs about his father though, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That was like the one
entirely different.
Yeah, this is entirely different, 100%. Yeah. But that's like the one thing because I just remember like
Answer Off of Wolf is about his dad.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Like Answer Off of Wolf. I'm pretty sure there's one on Flower Boy that's about his dad. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Igor or Call Me If You Get Lost have any about his dad. But but yeah. Anyway, do we want to go through the tracks now and then talk about the album as a whole?
Sure.
So how do we think it starts with Saint Chroma featuring Daniel Caesar? Purvis?
Bro, this is the most hype I've felt in a long time. This is the best beat drop I've heard, at least all this year, in my opinion.
Really?
That build up, the Daniel Caesar
more than other songs on this album?
Bro, I don't know what it is. It's maybe because I like Daniel Caesar a lot. So I'm used to his vocals. But that build up, can you feel the fire? And then the beat drop, I want to crash my car.
God, that's crazy because I like the song a lot. There's not any song on this project I don't like. But to me, I thought it was like kind of like a very easy start. To me, like the doesn't start till the second song.
Oh, it flows into it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it flows into it very well. Flows into it very, very well.
I mean, the whole album flows
very, very well.
Very good.
Honestly, I think like the flow of the album, if anything, leads me to my only real criticism, which is that the Noid, it was a very poor choice for a debut single for this project.
I don't.
Yeah. I do.
To be honest.
Huh?
It should have been Saint Chromia.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I agree.
Well, that was the first one technically, wasn't it? Wasn't Saint Chroma first?
But I think they teased it, but they didn't release it.
It's like the halfway.
Yeah. It wasn't like the first like official single that like went to radio stations and got a video. I think Noid is like Noid fits amazing like where it is in the track listing. Right? Like it is between Ratatata and Darling I. But I think like just Noid on its own, I feel like isn't a great capture of what the album feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I understand because like Saint Chroma, I like the whole marching band feel beat build up to it.
Rachel thinks the entire the tour should be goth HBCU.
Oh,
This album feels very.
what a pull! That's a pull.
Yeah.
I honestly
Yeah.
agree. I honestly agree.
Good.
That's a very good
Yeah,
one.
the marching band
It's like-
synchro.
It gives that marching band
Yeah.
feel, and then the flow right into Ratata,
Nah.
just perfect. But I feel like Noid being the single is just kind of throws everyone off because he wants everyone to think like he's talking about being paranoid and all that,
Yeah.
and just think like it's something that he's already done, not going to be as open as it is.
Yeah. I mean, I like Paranoid a lot. I just think, to me, it was just like the second it ended, the first time I heard the single, I was like, I know I'm gonna like this more on the album.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
that was the
I feel like a lot of people
and-
said that about Noise.
The
And
before
I
after
don't know if
songs
that's the
flow into it.
and I don't know if that's the best reaction, if that's the reaction you want people to have to your first single. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't think everyone's
it
like me and is like guaranteed to listen to the album.
I don't know. He probably felt like people are gonna fiend to this. Like they're gonna want more to it
That might be fair.
after they hear the song. Like you wanted to hear more of the album after you heard
Yeah.
the song because you figured you're gonna like this song a lot better
Yeah.
on the album.
Yeah.
I
Well,
also
definitely. Oh, that's a fair point. But and that
I was
that
gonna-
of course assumes, because like
Yeah.
of course I got to that place because I knew I was going to listen to Tyler's not going to release an album I'm not going to listen to it. You know what I mean?
And Tyler is probably getting that criticism a lot, where it's like you put this song out as your single. This is how people are gonna feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No, I
was
think
going
that's
to say Noid fits perfectly within the pacing because it
does.
does start off very fast paced, and that's hard for a leading single.
Yeah.
Or leading single, I should
I
say.
mean, I don't know. I think Ratata would have probably been
Bro,
a better single.
20,000, 100,000, 50,000,
on 'em?
couple. Bro, oh my God. It's so good.
The best
It's
out the
so
city next to Kenny. What?
It's so good.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Also, like, there's a huge sticky elephant in the room. Like,
Man.
that would have been an incredible single. Like,
That's
I do
too
think that
hard.
would have been a great single.
I actually
hard.
understand like the desire to keep sticky for the album. I actually get
that's
that.
the treat. That's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Or-
dude, when that came on,
Thought I Was Dead, I think could have
Thought
been.
I was dead. Yeah.
Yeah, Thought I Was Dead that might be my favorite song on the album.
and he was
they
hiding
want
the
to take
features at first.
you want to take what I got, but they ain't got what it takes.
Used to be young man and a fella turned 30.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude,
I was
also,
telling Rachel, it's
he
like I
touched
can't
on
say the
better-
lyrics. He says the N word too often, and she's
he
like,
does say the N word too often, yes.
yeah,
But Teasel Touchdown, if his next album is not R&B, I'm going to be pissed off. That man can sing.
dude, he can
Yes.
sing. Darling
can
I
sing.
is also an incredible song.
So good.
Darling
good.
I,
So
I
good.
love that song so much, so much.
But that going right into Hey Jane.
Yeah,
What an interesting
Darling I to Hey Jane was a very interesting.
It's
Uh,
fitting, but
It's two interesting concepts to put next to each other. But yeah, no, and
mood swing.
yeah, it's a big
It
mood
is a
swing.
mood swing,
I
yes.
think it's a perfect placement.
I
And he
agree with
does
you.
that again
I
later
agree
in
with
the album.
He does,
Between
yeah.
Like Him and Balloon, it's a perfect balance between the
Yeah.
two.
Mhm.
Now, I do
Yeah.
think this album is kind of perfectly sequenced, except for one song. And I don't know what to do with it because I think it's still a good song. I think
Okay.
Tomorrow kind of takes the gas out of the tank a little bit.
Okay.
I think Take Your Mask Off is a little too dour to have a slow song right after it. I think if you went
Okay.
Take Your Mask Off, Thought I Was Dead, and then Like Him, which is also a top tier song on the album, right? Because like Him is slow, but Like Him is
That's
has
the
like a
deep stuff.
gravity to it that I think
Yeah.
really like doesn't affect the pace at all, right?
She said he wanted to be in your life. I hit him. What? 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 Crazy. Like, yeah.
But yeah, no. So we had Hey Jane, I Killed You, and Judge Judy, which Judge Judy and I Killed You feature unlisted features from Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
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 And originally, people were just saying it was I Killed You, but yeah, Judge Judy. He's
Yeah.
doing all the vocal background.
Yeah, it's very similar to, I think it's Pink and White or Ivy. Beyonce's on
Yeah.
that song, and she's just doing
Yeah.
vocal flares in the background.
You're thinking of oh
Very
my god,
softly in the
it's the
background.
second to last song.
No, it's one of the early ones on Blondes.
Really?
It might be
Yeah.
more than once, to be honest.
It might be more than one.
You're right. Pink and White has it, but Godspeed also.
Godspeed also has it. Yeah.
There you go.
Pink is the one. I think Pink and White
you
could
really.
really.
You think Gambino recorded those verses the day he was at Coachella and Tyler was going nuts front row?
Maybe.
Maybe, you never know.
Maybe,
I mean,
you never
that
know.
just makes total sense. You seen Tyler go nuts front row.
Yeah.
And you hear Gambino on the album.
Yeah. And part of me does wish it was more of a substantive feature, just because knowing the narrative between them, the Tyler shout out on Bando Stone, I wish it was more of a substantive feature. However, I think Childish has an amazing voice, and I think those songs are really, really good, and I don't really think a third verse by Childish Gambino in either of them would have really taken it away. Now, you want to give me a Childish Gambino verse on Thought I Was Dead with Schoolboy and Tyler?
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
That would have been what I would have liked, Let's get a royalty vibe in here.
Or
royalty vibe.
Or alternatively, if we could have had a Tyler feature on Talk My Shit.
Oh, yeah? Put them on the other album?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Stone? Oh, my God.
Totally. Yeah, would have loved that. Yeah.
I've been meaning to go back and listen to
Bando Stone. It's good. It's good.
I need to go back and listen to
it. It's very good. It's a top 5 of the year.
Let's not forget that we might also be getting a deluxe album for this.
That's true. Yeah, and there's already one song that you only get through the vinyl pressing, and let me tell you, it features Playboi Carti, so I'm really happy it's not on streaming.
Isn't it just another feature on
adding on his feature?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like how Sheck West's feature was.
What song is it?
Isn't it on? Is it on Thought I Was Dead? No, not Thought I Was Dead. What is it on? I saw something about this.
I just listened to it yesterday, and I forgot what song it was.
Because I know there's a song called Mother.
No,
that was the
Chroma? Thought I Was Dead.
I thought it was Saint Chroma, but he didn't put it on there because it's the leading single and it fits so well. I don't know.
Yeah.
He had a verse on the vinyl of Thought I Was Dead. Carti apparently didn't clear his verse for the official release, which is why it's vinyl exclusive. So the first edition of the vinyl that's come out for this is a limited edition test pressing version 1 that's all green, doesn't even have the album cover on the website, and it's already sold out. I wanted to get one, but who knows if that'll see the light of day at some point.
Yeah, unlike Fiend, I think I'm okay with that because Thought I Was Dead is my favorite song on this, and I don't like Playboi Carti.
Should we get into the best song of the year?
Yeah, let's get into it. Do we all agree, at least? Do we all agree that Sticky's the best song of the album?
I think it's the best song.
I think it's
good.
I think
it's clear. It's a tie.
I think it's clearly the magnum opus of the song.
It's not my favorite.
I think it is very similar to Sicko Mode, where it's the most effort went into this song. The most blood, sweat, and tears went into making this song perfect.
I mean, look at the features.
Yeah. And not only features, but two of these artists are very hit or miss. And I think getting a great Lil Wayne feature and a great Sexy Red feature on the same track is not something to take lightly. Yeah. I think Glorilla's really having a great year. I think that beat drop when the drums kick in,
she comes in,
and Glorilla comes in, that was nuts. And then all the different phases.
He said, "Fuck your pronouns. I'm that nigga in that bitch." And I said, "Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that's kind of hard.
That goes real hard." Someone made the really bad pronouns joke really good.
Yeah,
Purvis is all upset. He didn't think that.
Yeah,
damn.
There's a lot of bars on this, but yeah, no, I think to me, Sticky was it was the centerpiece. I mean, it's dead center in the album, so it's it really is the centerpiece of the album to me.
It's so good,
and it's I also to me this kind of proves Jasper's point that Tyler is the next Kanye, because it reminds me a lot of the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, all of the lights, when he had all those crazy features going into these 4-minute long multi-phase songs, and it was getting played on the radio and at parties and shit. Right? I think it's very impressive.
It is.
I want to dab Tyler as the next Tyler or Kanye. I think Tyler is the version of Kanye we wish we had.
Yeah.
See, it's tough. This is actually why I was defending Kanye this week, because someone had mentioned that Tyler was the next Kanye,
He's not.
and like,
He's not the next. He's the one that we wish Kanye
Yeah.
was this.
I
But he
wish
went
Kanye
off
was
the
that
wall.
right now. But like Kanye
Yeah.
and his back then, like
The college
no,
dropout
was
Kanye. Yeah.
Like Kanye was Kanye. I didn't wish Kanye was anybody but.
Yeah. Honestly, it was the fact that Kanye became Kanye, the guy who was at the head of hip hop culture. That was the pride before the fall, right? Like,
totally.
You know, when during the college dropout eras, Kanye was just kind of in his own lane. And granted, I think Kanye had a lot more imitators. I think a lot more people latched onto the Kanye sound than the Tyler sound. But they did just kind of exist in their own lane. And I think Tyler is actively pushing back against being put at that top section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why when we had that episode of like, who's the next Kanye, we automatically didn't say Tyler because he does not want it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we could probably compare Tyler to more Pharrell, if anything.
I think
Pharrell
so.
is one of his biggest inspirations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Because like if you look at his clothing collabs and all that, that's similar to what Pharrell's done, but his music is, to me, similar to what Kanye's done.
Yeah.
He had a collection in Paris. They didn't even send me the collection to wear it. I'm so embarrassed.
Ugh.
That's great. Like,
that's wild.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's actually crazy. Hey, he said he's still everybody's mood board though.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going.
Yeah.
Still winning.
So, quick pivot. Who do we think Take Your Mask Off is about? Is it about himself?
I don't think
so. It's about the genre?
Because like it sounds like it's about one person, and at certain points it sounds like, oh, it's about himself. But then it's like,
I think it's.
But then he says some things.
Himself.
But then he says some things that just aren't true about Tyler, where he's like, oh, your stage presence, no one brings it up. It's like people talk about Tyler's stage presence all the time, right? Like FD Sing Fire has
in his mind, he doesn't hear about it as much.
Yeah, that might be true. But like he also talks about being a recluse, and like that sounds like Tyler is definitely not a recluse. He is out all the time. Like
I don't know, as a creative yourself, you attach yourself to the negativity when you hear it.
I think this is my view. I think this is about his early self. Like it's about his younger self.
Yeah,
because he said that wearing the mask, it's like a young version of his younger face that he's wearing.
Yeah.
But he says,
oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because he's talking to like Goblin Bastard Tyler.
Ain't too fond of them gays. You don't deny it. Wait, since a kid you knew something was up. Had you thinking God would hate you, so you covered it up. Gotta hide how you live, what you really enjoy. She got a wife, got a kid, but you be fucking them boys. Sick of all the shame, sick of all the pain that's within. Scared of being seen, tired of rebuking the sin. I'm pretty sure that's first 3 album, pre-2016 Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that can make sense. I never thought of it as like, I never thought of it as just being him commenting on his older self. But yeah, no, that makes total sense.
But I think he's talking to 2 different people. I think he's talking to himself, and then later he's talking to a woman, because he's saying, big ass wheels in the garage, 3 cute kids in your arms. Your husband just made another meal. You want your life back and a massage. Tired of being at home, personality gone. Body ain't been the same. Postpartum is long. Your identity gone. Mama is your first name. The last one got changed. They dream about your nest, but crave flying alone, man. It's like he's talking to him. I think his early self and maybe somebody else from his past.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like his mom.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think the girl is Jane?
It could be.
Yeah, it could be Jane.
Jane is Jane.
Yeah. No, I think it could be. Yeah, I think so. My first few reactions, I'm like, is he talking about his dad? Yeah,
I didn't pick up his dad at least.
Yeah.
I do feel like it is about himself, but I do think it can also apply to just like music in general, or just like the game, the genre in general, in the industry. Because a lot of people, specifically this year in the Great War and the Great Debate, like a lot of people have on mask in the industry.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think that's what the first verse is about.
Yeah.
Because the first verse is like, you're not a thug, you get face
Exactly.
tattoos, but what?
Yeah.
Second verse, I think, is about him. Third verse is about a woman we don't know. And then the fourth verse, which is even longer, I
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah.
And like looking at the other songs, that actually does track because
Yeah.
even Hey Jane, the first verse is his version, the
second
second verse
verse
is
is
the
from
girl
hers.
version.
Yeah.
Experiencing going through pregnancy and are we going to keep it or not? So
Yeah.
it could be a theme going throughout the tracks.
Multiple perspectives in a song. It seems to be a theme, and this is
Yes.
this is a point where I want to talk about kind of like why I'm happy why we're recording this on Saturday, because I initially had like one big criticism of this album, but it has melted away as I've listened to it more and more, and that is that it does seem like the main message of the album is to like live authentically and be yourself. And like my main critique of that was that's kind of flat and uninteresting. Like I think like a lot of the ways he goes about saying it was very cool, but I think like that as like an overall message is just kind of too cliche to ever truly be captivating. However, what I think I've looked over was the context this has within Tyler's career and within the content he's been releasing, and how Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost, and even Flower Boy to an extent were very vain, celebratory like projects, right? It was all about him kind of putting on these masks and like celebrating himself as like these people. I think Call Me If You Get Lost is the most successful version of this, where he's kind of like he basically kind of assuming the role as being like one of the best rappers in the game and like living that persona.
Yes.
This is the one where he's starting to look inward and he's starting to be critical of himself. You know, like there is not an ounce of self-criticism in Call Me If You Get Lost or Igor.
There's
maybe a little bit in Igor. Maybe
there isn't Call Me If You Get Lost, but it's in a different context. It's not from an artistic perspective, but it's from like a personal one where he's talking about relationships and falling in love with someone.
Right.
The girlfriend of his friend. So it's like it's there. It's just different. Yeah.
I think our definitions of is it there are different then, because I think that is just like so broadband, like so mass market that of course that's there. You know, I think like you have to go way deeper than that to qualify. But I think he does here. So I think that initial criticism I had just has kind of evaporated. And I do really like the way, you know, on this song, Like Him, Judge Judy, Hey Jane, I like the way that he is like very critical of like himself and like who he is like on a personal level, artistically. I think that process is essential in making great art. And I think, you know, the quality of the album in front of us is proof of that. Now, what do you guys think about the song Tomorrow?
I want to listen to like 5 seconds of it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's like the only one in the album.
One of the ones that like.
It's the only song in the album like when I was looking through it this morning, I had to like re-listen to.
What was interesting, because Jasper, you brought up a point, but due to your like scheduling, you almost always ended on Tomorrow, right?
Like when I was commuting, yeah, it would be that I would have to take my earbuds out and pause either at Tomorrow or Like Him. It was just like I always seem to have to stop listening right then and then like pick up, which I think is just interesting, like timing thing.
Is it almost like an interlude? Like it's not an interlude, but I feel like it's a good transition piece because it's leading up to Thought I Was Dead, and that
I think to me it just slows it down a little too much.
Okay.
Like it's 3 minutes. It's a little too long to be an interlude. I think this is the one pacing misstep on the album. I don't think it's a bad song by any stretch. I don't think there are any bad songs on this album. But yeah.
I feel like this is actually like somewhat of a sequel to See You Again. Because like the beat kind of feels the same, and like
See You Again.
See You Again is like, you know, he's going away, hoping to see you again, you know, love, all that, and then Tomorrow being a different story. That's just me.
Okay.
I think this is kind of a direct. Yeah, we're going the Kanye route for this. I feel like this is a very direct kind of 180 from the content of, or not even a 180, but it's like a different take on a lot of the themes for Call Me If You Get Lost. You know, um, remember when I was rich, so I bought me some new emotions and a new boat because I'd rather cry in the ocean. Off of like Call Me If You Get Lost versus this, it's like Brody had another baby. That's number two. Not my homegirl got her not tied. She's like 32. They're sharing pictures of these moments. Shit is really cute. All I got is his photos of my Rari and some silly suits like the Igor era.
Yeah.
So it's like it very much gives me Say You Will, like Kanye 808s, where it's like lamenting the fact that you have success by your own definition, but over time that definition of success eventually evolves and changes into something else.
Yeah, it always does. Yeah.
Yeah, God's sister getting married by the lake, but I couldn't figure out who I want to take. Mad enough that I showed up late, had to leave before they even cut the cake. Welcome to heartbreak. Like, come on. It's the parallel of like, as you grow up, things that hold a lot of value for you suddenly don't, and there are new priorities. And I think that's a big part of this.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I mean, once again, like I think the song as itself, I think as a song is good. I just think its place on the album fucks with me.
Yeah. I think this could be more toward the end, honestly.
Yeah, like do you think this could maybe fit better between Balloon and I Hope You Find Your Way Home?
Probably, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Balloon?
Yeah, we could skip to Balloon. Like, because, I have complicated feelings on this.
I fucking hate Balloon.
I love the beat.
Bro,
I love the beat.
Thank you. No. Jasper, I felt the same way. I did not like Balloon. I'm sorry.
I'm so tired of that stupid sample. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah,
Afterworld did it.
I kind of love it too.
Enough.
I kind of love it too. I think the Doechii verse saves it for me a little bit.
Bro, the beat is so bad it made Doechii look bad, and I am on a very high Doechii like run right now. Like I'm full support.
I don't know, like it was never my favorite song on the album.
I don't know what it is. I just
like it, to me, I feel like the beat is like so bad it has approached kitschy. It is that's a real thing.
We're not gonna do that.
No, that's a thing that exists. So bad it's good is a real thing that exists, and if
it does exist, but it's not a good thing. It just exists.
I don't know, like. I hear you. I just don't think it's that bad. Like I think it's
right. It's not terrible, but it definitely feels like a Wii Sports theme song.
It feels like
that's why I like it.
Tyler was like, "Huh, what's that like thing that?"
I know that annoying
last,
sample.
5 years?
Yeah, I think the argument of like, oh, just cut out that annoying sample Jasper's talking about. Yeah, I think you could just do that. I think that's
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, like that's
stop does not have to go everywhere.
Yeah, the don't stop is
it doesn't fit the pacing. It's too slow.
I think the rest of the beat I like actually. I think the don't stop little stabs are a little bit much. I could
controversial one.
Yeah, but no, yeah.
Wait, we skipped Thought I Was Dead.
No, we're gonna get back to that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know real quick. How many songs do you think actually sample that exact "I Wanna Rock" by Luke? Like,
Dude,
don't stop.
Probably like 50.
Yeah, probably.
I was gonna say because I found a page on Genius for it.
Talking about who sampled?
Yeah. Well, no, it's on Genius. There's one, and it's like at least 40 plus songs.
That's disgusting.
It's wild.
Let it die.
Yeah, honestly. Astroworld did it. Sycamore did it. That was the one. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Tell me don't stop. Yo, you need to stop.
Yeah.
No, I can get down with that. That doesn't offend me by any stretch. But yeah, no,
let's go back to Thought I Was Dead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Thought I Was Dead is maybe my favorite song of the album. I think the Schoolboy Q feature might be the best feature on the album.
You don't want to go to war with the soldier.
Don't want to go to war with the soldier. I think he's the only feature that doesn't get. I think he gets outshined by Tyler the least.
Yes.
I think
that's another thing I was going to bring up that we talked about.
Yeah.
I feel like the features, they're not bad, but damn, Tyler is just.
It really is just like Tyler's best performances on this album are on the songs with features. Like. Not that like anything on this album is bad. Once again, like, but yeah, him on "Darling I," Sticky, Take Your Mask Up, and Thought I Was Dead are his best showings on the album. For sure. And this is wild.
He's doing everything. He's doing the chorus. He's doing the bridge. He's doing
a third
actual
verse.
verses.
Yeah, he's doing 3 verses.
And
that was, I think
the third verse hits the hardest.
And I think this might have been, the reason why I was a little sus of Noid as like the lead single. And that was like, I'm just a little worried. I know Call Me If You Get Lost was very rappy, but it was a little too mixtapey for me. I wanted more from like Flower Boy. I wanted him to build off that.
You could thank DJ Drama for that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right? If DJ Drama, and it's like, I didn't need that in Tyler. That is fine for a 12-track West Side Gun album. That is not what I wanted from Call Me If You Get Lost. As much as I do like that project. So Noid, it was like, oh, I sure hope he's rapping on this project, and he is. I was not disappointed by that. Yeah. When I think also is why Noid has grown on me so much. But and this was the best example. Truly and honestly, they want to take what I got, but they ain't got what it takes.
And this song feels like it could be an extension of the styling, like the vocal style he employs on Call Me If You Get Lost. It reminds me of Lemonhead.
Yeah, like it reminds me of Lemonhead a lot. Lemonhead is like my favorite song on. That's the one with 42 Doug.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my favorite song on Call Me If You Get Lost. So that makes sense to me.
And just the opening to verse 3 is top tier. It's like you think things are winding down, and he says, "White boys mocking the shit, y'all mad at me? Y'all suck my dick. Pull out on tweets, pull up old shirts, all shit. I'll moonwalk over that bitch."
He does not care.
He does not care.
We do not care. Like,
it's so
dude,
good.
I wish I could moonwalk just so I could be like, yeah, I'm gonna moonwalk all over that bitch.
Well, because he moonwalks for Igor. So
yeah,
it's
he
like,
does.
fuck it, like we ball. I'm just gonna pull
moonwalking on the plane, like on top of the plane.
On top of the plane, yeah. And it's just like the way he blends. He so seamlessly blends his different eras together that seem at a glance like so musically different, but the way he does it and can like pull elements to supplement like his storytelling. This is what Kanye wishes he did on Vultures, because Kanye was making references back to older projects, referencing like songs, things like even like earlier Life of Pablo, St. Pablo. He says, "I wasn't supposed to make it past 25," referencing We Don't Care. It's like Tyler's the one who's actually like able to implement these in a way that is cohesive at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's also on the.
I also have not seen. I gotta get back on social media. I have not. I was unaware there was a Thought I Was Dead video.
Yes, it's
come on,
dude. The election is getting to me. I'm sorry. I'm an adult, and there's important things on my timeline.
Sorry, not sorry. Right? Yeah.
After the election, you can download it.
I work for a conservative talk station.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why you're not doing the same thing I am. To be honest with you,
don't say that on the podcast.
Yeah,
get canceled.
Yeah.
I don't follow those views at all.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut that. Nothing like that.
Yeah,
I did not vote for those people. I voted yesterday. I did not vote for those people.
Oh, also, this will go out before the election. So if you're seeing this, vote.
Go vote.
Like
make like Spike Lee and do the right thing. All right.
Yeah.
And don't be like P. Diddy saying "vote or die."
Oh my God.
Other people want you to vote too. You don't have to just listen to Diddy. Other people want you to vote. Like. Life's different, man. I don't know. Like we could be living in a very next week's episode could come to you from a very different world.
It could.
Yeah, let's not dwell.
Anyway, so do you want to talk about Like Him? This one's heavy.
We have to come back to a heavy one.
Yeah.
This.
Why would I gotta ask though for starter? Why would Tyler's mom say that?
Why
would she say that to him?
The truth. I don't know. Maybe it's true.
Why does she know that?
Wait, what are we talking about specifically?
She's the one that hit him.
No. Wait, am I thinking of the start of Like Him? The start of Like Him is where she says, "You look just like him."
Yeah.
Long arms, big feet, big. It's like, why do you know? Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That part was a little weird. I agree. Yes. I meant the end of the song where she's "I hid your dad from you. Sorry." No, but I mean the entire song, "Chasing a Ghost," that's some real stuff.
That's wild.
Tough.
That's a great chorus.
Yeah, it's an incredible chorus. I think as far as like the downbeat songs, this is the best one on the album. This is a fantastically put together song, 100%.
And I think this is a good follow up to Answer, Because I think Answer is fully about his dad. Like, why don't you answer?
Yeah.
This is the perfect follow up.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell on it because it is like
It's pretty heavy.
it is the opposite of sticky. It is the what's the opposite of sticky?
Dry.
I was gonna say dry. It's like
Smooth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. Slick. Or something.
Slick.
I don't know.
Slick.
Like,
there we go. Slick is the best
yeah.
one. Yeah, that's the best one. Yeah, this is the slickest.
She said, "It was my fault, not yours, not his. It was my fault. I'm sorry, bro." That's crazy. No, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But I don't know what relationship he has with his mom, so maybe it was a healthy conversation.
It's got to be good. She was on stage with him when he won his Grammy, which was after all this shit happened. Like,
and she was also on Call Me If You Get Lost too.
Yeah, is Benita Smith his mom?
I guess so. Yeah, she's mentioned in the outro.
Well, I also wonder if it's like
Filling in.
like the Frank Ocean, like the Be Yourself thing. Like that was like a recreation of that lady. I wonder if this is like a recreation of something.
That is his mom.
Yeah, Bonita Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his mom. Yeah, I double checked.
Ooh, NPR has a good write up on this. Actually,
I'm looking at a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Send me the write up, but
quality. Yeah, it's some quality stuff here.
All right. So, do we want to talk about the last track on the album?
Yes.
I Hope You Find Your Way Home, which feels very reminiscent of Call Me If You Get Lost. I Hope You Find Your Way Home.
Yes.
Yes. Very.
Even though I don't think the song sonically feels like a Call Me If You Get Lost.
No.
I do think it's a very good outro. It is just, this is probably the song I will listen to in a vacuum the least.
Yeah.
Totally.
Same.
Yeah. But I think it functions excellent as an outro. I think it really puts a cap on the story that we've been told through this. Like, don't get me wrong, like I want a deluxe just because I want more of the music that came from Tyler in this space. But it also at the same time, it's like it is just such a well-told story.
Yes. I saw a couple of things comparing this to Kendrick's recent album. Because it is almost
Mr. Morale. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's very similar to Mr. Morale.
Yes.
Yeah.
He opens up about a lot of vulnerable things and like some of the lyrics within. I won't go through all. And
Mr. Morale is Tyler's favorite Kendrick album.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very clear. Like it's a clear follow up to it. I'm sure it has a lot of influence.
I gotta say my desire for a Tyler Kendrick collab has
that would be fun.
Increased exponentially.
I think we get it.
I think it's inevitable. Like with the Hillbillies at Flongnaw last year, with Tyler at the Pop Out, with
I think it's going to be on Kendrick's next album.
Yeah,
I think they probably tried to work something for this album, but he probably was too good. And let's save it for Kendrick.
If you had to put a Kendrick album on this album, what would you do? Like where would you put it? I think there's a very obvious
on what song?
Yeah, I think there's a very obvious answer. Ratata.
Yeah,
I think I'd put him up with Schoolboy Q and on Thought I Was Dead.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Because we all saw the video of the Thought I Was Dead, but it's
the Euphoria.
It's with the Euphoria beat. Oh my god!
I would actually I'd put Kendrick on I Killed You.
Ooh, that would be kind of cool.
Ooh, that's a cool one. That's an interesting one. Because I Killed You is all about like black hair, and it's like I don't know. I think you definitely need someone who is in touch with those issues to speak on that, and Kendrick is a good choice.
I was gonna say he's on here down from Sir.
No, dude, you should have gotten Ian for that, obviously.
Shut the fuck up.
I just feel like the beat on I Killed You is similar to something on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Look, Kendrick can flow on any beat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you could put him on Like Him and he'd be great. But like, but yeah, no. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that we all are very heavy on this album, which is why I wanted.
I mean, we're gonna see him on tour.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I just realized. You just made me realize. I know what Ratata sounds like now. It sounds like King's Dead.
It does sound like King's Dead.
Yep.
Yeah. It does
like
sound.
Yeah. Totally. I was like, why does this sound really familiar? It's because he's doing the West Coast, like the actual like West Coast thing now, sort of, maybe a little bit.
Pull. That's a good pull.
That is a
All
great
right,
goal.
fingers crossed that this tour stays together.
This is a world tour. I'm very confident in this. I don't know. I just have.
So was Gambino's.
I get it, but like, we're pretty deep in it.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about Childish Gambino canceling. Don't cancel.
Yeah, we have to rebuy those tickets, don't we? If he ever reannounces.
Yes. Eventually, yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
he's gonna perform, and we're gonna see him.
Yeah,
leave it at
he
that.
is.
Childish Gambino, I give some pass to because it was health issues.
Our friendship.
So it's like, yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. So should we give a grade?
Want to stare?
Yeah. Should we give a grade?
Favorite songs?
Grade favorite song, and I think for me personally, I just want Tyler to do more of this. Just keep making like thoughtful, inspired, creatively unique albums, because I think all of his albums the last 4 all have like a unique identity while feeling like Tyler. Just keep doing that, my friend. I don't need anything more than that.
Yeah, I have no expectations.
I have no expectations beyond that. Like, he delivers. He's the David Fincher of rap. I'm gonna give this an A+. This is the front runner for my album of the year. West Side Gun might have something to say about that, but at time of recording, I think it's this one.
Yeah.
We've had a lot this year. I got to go back and read it.
Yeah.
I am giving it an A+, though, but we've had a lot.
We'll talk. A+. Me and Purvis can music nerd out a little bit later today when we're watching people get opened up with pizza cutters, but it's like,
that's an Action Bronson line right there. Accidental Bronson.
It's actually gonna happen.
Yeah.
One of the guys, Nick Gage, he is notorious for being called the Deathmatch King, who they'll be seeing tonight, and he has been slicing people open for a good portion of his career with a pizza slicer.
Good.
I'm terrified.
We're gonna.
Yeah, first time I saw it,
we're gonna be kind of far away, Purvis.
Dude.
All right, let's continue on.
Let's get. Okay, A+. That's my grade. What's everyone else giving?
I think we're all giving it an A+.
I think we're all A+.
Jasper?
I'm A+. Yeah, I think that aesthetically, this one for me has not landed the same as Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost have yet, but I want to give it more time. I've listened to it only probably 4 times.
That's fair. That was Bando Stone for me. It took me a long time to attach myself to Bando Stone, but it got there.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't feel like it has the same level of spectacle and polish as those two, which is like something I am accustomed to.
No.
Like it is very personal and intimate in that way, but it does lose a little bit of that like production glitz that I've kind of gotten used to from Tyler. So that's like something I'm still kind of working through.
That's fair. All right.
No arguments.
All right, so should we go and do recommendations?
Let's do it.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. My first one is gonna be a dedication to Jeffrey, Young Thug, The London, J. Cole, and Travis Scott.
Dude, that song's so good. I was talking about it last night at a party. Like,
such a good song. Approved.
Yes. Young Thug is free.
Young Thug is free. Jeff, free.
It's finally back.
Jeff, free. All right.
Okay. Purvis, you want to go?
Sure. I've been working a lot of overtime trying to get this bread up. I've been finally tapping back into my lo-fi phase. I've been saying this for years now. New Jables is a Japanese producer, extremely famous, very good. Back on the YouTube grind, played a random mix of his music, found out that he actually is the producer to the opening track of Samurai Champloo, which is one of my favorite albums ever. Didn't know he produced it. So I'm going to do the New Jables, Battle Cry. It's so good. If you need a lo-fi phase, just look up New Jables and just fucking throw it. It's good.
All right. I'll go next. Probably the most bizarre song of the year came out a couple weeks ago, and I cannot stop listening to it. It's some kind of remix to a song that's over 20 years old. It's Fly by Lenny Kravitz with Quavo. Like, does anyone know?
I know that. I have that on my playlist.
Yeah, right? I cannot stop listening to it. It's like genuinely very good. Like, it sounds like
it's so good.
It sounds crazy, but one, early Lenny Kravitz is incredible. Like, he really brought like rock and roll out of grunge and into like a stylish place in the late 90s. I think he's massively underappreciated.
I'm
Listen to it now. This goes hard.
It says I want to get away.
So this is a
What am I
remake of
listening to?
Fly, his song "I Wanna Fly Away"
The
with
beat.
Quavo. With Quavo,
Yeah.
it's more of a rap song now, but he's still playing guitar on it. So go.
Quavo end up on this?
This is
I don't know,
wild.
but it's really, really. I think he's just a fan. Like I know Quavo likes a little bit of rock music, so I think he might just be a fan.
I mean,
Like,
didn't Young Thug do his song with Elton John?
Yeah,
Young Thug has an entire country album.
he does have an entire
Yeah.
time.
Beautiful Thugger Girls. Remember that?
Jesus, what a time.
Jasper, so that was mine. Fly, the new Fly with Lenny Kravitz and Quavo.
I hope we
It's
get
really
another-
good. I'm not talking shit about it at all. I think it's insane that anyone thought this would be a good idea.
That's
I
what
would
I'm
not
saying.
have, but the song is good. So what do I know?
Yeah, I hope we get another Young Thug country album once
No.
he's back to making music, and call it Thug Country and just leave it at that.
There's a music video to it.
What, Fly?
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching it. It's very fun. I have a lot of time now in front of computers, so I just like have music videos playing all the time. And this one just popped up, and I was like, "What is this?" And it's really good.
My first one, in I guess small tribute to our news topic from earlier, is gonna be "All My Life," Lil Durk featuring J. Cole.
Very fun.
Nice.
Classic.
Nice.
Like
Good song.
that's gonna be an anthem. I don't know if it really is yet, but it's gonna be at some point.
It was
So
an anthem when it came out, at least.
was it? Okay, in that case, yeah, I'll take it.
Approved.
I'll go with my next one. It's gonna be some Weekend. It's gonna be his cover of Dirty Diana, DD.
Oh my god,
Banger.
one of the best covers of all
Great
time.
song.
One of the best covers of
We
all
need
time.
we need the Weekend to find a way to make a whole album of Michael Jackson covers.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, especially with the style from that era. Oh my god,
We
I'm
just
gonna
get
listen to
Thriller
that.
like redone by The Weeknd. That'd be insane.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
yeah,
PYT, but it's The Weeknd.
yeah, and it's a guy who doesn't have credible accusations. PYT, but we don't have to worry about how young those things are. Like,
Oh,
I mean, or the Weekend could just get the same vendetta that Michael Jackson had, like
he could do.
when Just Lose
they
It
don't really-
came out.
They don't really
and
care
then-
about us.
that'd be insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, Purvis, go. Purvis, go.
It's in my turn. I'm sorry.
Purvis, go.
On top of my phase with lo-fi, Tribe Called Quest, a fantastic.
Ooh, a very lo-fi, easy to listen to
Oh, good.
hip hop album. I love Tribe Called
Man.
Quest.
I wish we had a new Tribe Called Quest. But anyway, 8 Million Stories absolutely slaps. Every verse in the song goes hard. So good. So highly recommend. I'm clearly in my lo-fi bag. I'm
No.
returning back to my peak.
Hell yeah. Speaking of returning to my peak, a couple weeks ago I got to see my favorite rock bands in concert again. I saw Rise Against. They are the artists I have seen the most in concert. It is an
I had
obscene.
a free ticket to that show.
It is an obscene number. It is 9.
Wow.
And I caught an opener, an LA band called Microwave, who I really, really like, actually. I've been listening to their stuff a lot. It is kind of halfway between like punk and hardcore and like classic rock. It doesn't really have that much of an edge, but it does have a lot of like punk instrumentation. And I wanted to recommend their song, But Not Often. It's just like a very anthemic, easy to listen to, kind of like fall day rock song. Like I highly recommend it. It hit soup. Like it was a song that I heard live, and like literally I was looking up the lyrics like as I was standing at the venue. Like it was so good.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's a band I never heard of. They're relatively like they don't have I think they have like 1 million listeners on Spotify. So like they have a fan base, but they're not like super huge. Microwave, big fan.
Nice.
All right, Jasper, bring us home.
I regret to inform you all that I have entered my obnoxious Tame Impala phase.
Oh God,
Love it.
Yeah.
try
I'm
to
going
keep that
one-
to college.
Yeah, oops. I'm a late bloomer. What can I say? I'm going for One More Hour off of the Slow Rush. And if you don't know this song, Purvis, go listen to this. It is the backing for one of your favorite singles of this year. Sample
Right,
this.
hold on. I do know about Tame Impala. I just haven't dived in myself, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, you're gonna like this one. It's long, but once you get to around the minute mark, you'll know exactly what you're listening for. Top tier. It was between this and Borderline, which is like the other hit off of the Slow Rush. That's like what I've been really digesting.
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I know the song. Banger also.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
That's my pick.
Good pick.
Great pick.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Saturday recording.
what a great Saturday afternoon. I should start drinking coffee before we do our podcast more often, and instead of bourbon.
I was gonna say that'll end one of two ways.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is that
how
we usually
often are we
record at
recording
night,
tomorrow?
so I'm usually drinking
Yeah.
my night drink, which is bourbon.
Yeah.
But now I'm
We'll
drinking
have
my
some
morning
later.
drink, which is coffee, which I could put bourbon in, but I didn't. Like, all right,
We'll have
guys.
some
Good way to
later.
start your day.
All right, guys. Like, follow, subscribe. We got a bunch.
Tell us we suck.
Tell us we suck.
Yes.
Argue with us. Tell us why we're bad. Tell us why I'm wrong. Tell us why Tyler has always been good. I don't know. It's all
Let us
engagement
know
for.
your thoughts.
Yeah. All right, and that's it. I'm ending the show right here. I don't care.